Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this world. We now take ourselves back to the Dragon Age campaign, A Silver Lining, where a younger Kunari wakes up and decides what he is going to do with his day.
Oh boy. Well, I wake up on a broken table. The night before, it was a blur. But you know what? You gotta be productive in this world, even if you are waking up from a drunken stupor. And there's things that need to be done. Now, I might be a barbaric Kunari who enjoys bashing things with my sword. However, I'm also in the pursuit of knowledge. Knowledge of things that I simply can't understand due to my past and lacking the information and the necessary ways to obtain that information. So, I'm going to do a bit of researching to regarding dragon rumors and follow up on some of my sources and informants on possible sightings of my family.
Roll me a couple 1d20 plus 6, 2 rolls.
Okay. Well, that's terrible.
It takes you a long time, but eventually the only one that you're able to find who knows a bit about dragons is the bull.
I see.
And what was your... Oh, yes. Oh, Boris. Hello.
Hello, bull. I don't remember a lot last night, but I do recall you mentioning dragons.
Oh, yes, indeed. I got to fight a few when I was alongside the Inquisitor during the last little spat we had.
I want to know more about them, but I lack the necessary route to get the info I need.
Well, I can tell you a lot about how to fight them. Their breath hurts. A lot. They are well armored, and a lot of them nowadays tend to live in the mountains, secluded by, as far away from mankind as possible.
I see. Are they intelligent?
Oh, they are quite smart. None of them really talk, at least none that I have seen. But I hear they are quite... At least the one I fought was quite intelligent.
Tell me, Bull, what do you know about our people, the ones who did or still do worship dragons?
He gives you a very serious look, and he sits down and he tells you a lot about the Kunari history. Go ahead, and you'll have to just, off the top of my head, I'm way too tired right now to give you a whole spiel on that, but I will let you go ahead and look up that information, and he will give you basically a full rundown.
Yeah, I get to absorb wiki.
Indeed, the history of Kunari. And he says, it's not often something we talk about, but in the old days, in the very old days, it is said that there are still two gods trapped underneath the earth. Two gods in the form of dragons. Hopefully the Darkspawn will never awake them.
Do you seem rather trustworthy, yes?
Well, of course I am trustworthy.
Do
Mostly.
you know of my past?
His one eye kind of narrows at you. I had taken a few guesses.
Boris lays his arm on the table and he traces his hands, his claws, against his other claws, and he goes, "This isn't because of normal circumstances. I'm sure you could have guessed by now."
I have.
Long ago, during the... And he's pausing. He's hesitant to talk, but he kind of you can tell that this is something that sort of eats on him a lot, because his eyes are kind of darting around on the table, and he's really thinking about what he's going to say next. And he says, "Most people who are like me are, in a way, I don't know how to put this, artificially made. My case was more natural and confusing. Long ago, my family made contact with one of the dragons. We were worshippers. Whatever happened long ago was lost to time and hasn't been recorded. The only thing left of what occurred after that meeting with a dragon is me. And I can't really explain what I am."
You know, I have a saying. Remember where you come from, but always look forward. It does not matter where you came from or what you have done in the past, but what you will do with it. So, Boris, what will you do with it?
He lets his fingers dig into the wood of the table, and he says, "Well, I am part of this organization. My goal is to help people. Regardless of where I came from, I want to see others okay. However, I want answers. And people who were connected to me, my family, they're still alive out there somewhere. I keep getting sightings of them, reports. They're moving. I don't know where they're being taken, but I don't think it's good. I don't know whether they're experiments or slaves, or... I'm not sure."
Then continue with the Inquisition, and you will find what you seek, as did I. I will certainly aid you in this task if it comes up in the future. I could use another good Scrabble. By the way, I will be joining you on the expedition in 2 days' time, the one to the southern deep woods. I look forward to fighting alongside you.
I have a lot of tricks up my sleeves that you're yet to see, but I imagine you could say the same to me.
Oh, good. Very good.
Thank you for this talk, Bull. I appreciate your assistance in such a difficult matter.
Of course. You are among friends here, and friends in the Inquisition will not judge you as harshly as our people have.
It is new to me, this idea. Well, my family, were originally outcasts in a way, as you can imagine. Regardless, as you say, the past is the past. There's only the future ahead. And to pursue the future, you see. Very well. Tell me, and you mentioned the mountains. Can you point in a general area where they might lie?
He points north.
I see. I'm not sure whether they'll be hostile to me, but one day I might seek out information from them. Whether or not they'll talk to me, I'm not sure. But either I will fight a mighty beast, or I will communicate with something that doesn't wish to talk.
If you do manage to communicate with a dragon, do let me know. Because that sounds awesome. Because then you could ride the dragon afterwards.
Not so sure about that, but who knows? And he taps the table, and he gets up and he says, "This fortress, this area, does it have any sort of books?"
It does indeed have a library. You may find what you seek down there.
And that would be, and he starts pointing his fingers in like different directions. That would be
down the first stairs onto the basement level. First door on your right.
Ah, good. All right. I'm going to go. And he sort of grits his teeth, and like it sounds painful to him. Read.
Iron Bull just smiles and goes back to a practice dummy.
Alrighty. Well, Brandon, I'm going to head down to the library. And I'm not really sure what kind of books there would be. Let me know. I don't know. It's a library, but for what?
Okay, you go on down to the library. And as you're starting to browse around and you see a lot of different books on this, you hear a voice from behind you. Hello.
Boris slowly twists around.
And you see the woman in the image.
In the what?
In the image that you see on this one.
Oh, okay. Greetings. Hello.
Hello. I am the main librarian of the Inquisition. My name is Masara. How can I aid you today?
Hello, Masara. I am Boris. I'm looking for books about dragons.
Ah, books on the ancient dragons. What precisely do you wish to know about them?
Has there ever been any sort of interspecies contact between dragons and people?
There was contact a long time ago, during the first and second blights, in the years of the dragon. The only known book that we have on that particular time period is here, but there is not much information on it, and it is, well, somewhat damaged.
Based on that time period, when was my family's contact made with the dragon, Brandon?
Your contact was made after, so your contact was made during like the 4th or 5th. I'm sorry, the 4th. Sorry. So yeah, this would be way before your family's time.
I see. Hmm. Okay. Tell me, you are knowledgeable. You appear so. I have inquiries regarding how are, and you can tell he's struggling with this. Thinking isn't really having to think so hard so often is struggling for him, and he's sort of having to really put together the pieces before he says things. And he says, people who are captured by the enemy, how are they treated? What happens to them?
What enemy do you speak of?
What enemy am I speaking of, Brandon?
Are you talking? I don't know. Are you talking about the Kunari invasion? Are you talking about dragons? What?
Kunari invasion. They're the one who captured my family.
Oh, then that would be slavery or death. Most likely.
What if they were unique specimens?
Then they might be bound and controlled.
I see. Somebody knocking on the door?
You hear a knock, but there's no one at the door that you came in. She looks over to the doorway and says, "Don't mind that."
Why is there a ghost knocking on the door?
It is not a ghost. It is my familiar.
Your familiar's a ghost?
So to speak. so to speak.
I want to know more about... I was talking to Bull, and he said dragons are smart, but they don't talk to us.
Some are intelligent. Others have lost their way. And they do not communicate with the elves, humans, or dwarves, or the Kunari, because they are remnants of an older world that no longer exists.
Are they... Where could they be?
There are still dragons left in this land. You just have to know where to look. They often put themselves in areas of very little human attention, unless you have something that is drawing them. As for something that could draw them, I do not know.
Bull said that those in the Inquisition can be trusted with things of important matters, yes?
She thinks for a moment and she says, "Are you about to tell me a secret, Boris?"
Maybe. I'm not sure how important it is.
You must be 100% sure before you speak that.
Then perhaps I can show you. And perhaps that would convey the message.
She nods. Understood.
All right. It would require us to leave the library. Is that all right?
Where would you like to go?
A training area. Or somewhere that's okay with not being damaged.
She turns a little ring on her middle finger, and a little portal opens up to the training ground in the back.
He kind of shivers a bit, and he's like, he's uncomfortable with the idea of some portal just opening. Anyways, he goes, he's kind of uneasy, but he like slinks over to the portal and just like slowly steps through. He's like,
Step through the portal, and you are now in the back training area.
Okay. Okay. So Boris steps forward and he says, what are they called, Brandon? The Reavers? Sorry?
Sure.
Sure?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You got to be specific.
Hang on. There's a word for it, and I have to find the word. It's like the people who are given dragon blood. Nari. Load. Please load. It's not loading. Pardon me. Regardless.
What do you wish to show me?
So, he kind of stands there for a second and he stares at the dummy and he just sort of sighs and then he takes a deep breath and, well, I want to use my breath weapon, Brandon. I want to breathe cold on this dummy.
You do, and it freezes it and shatters it.
And I sort of do like a hand motion, like, what is that? What? Like, he doesn't know. Like,
you have the dragon bloodline inside you. Perhaps you should go speak with Leanna.
He sort of tilts his head down and he goes, why?
The other Inquisitor. Oh, just call it a woman's intuition.
I see.
Just a small, little intuition. And then she slowly walks back through the portal while looking at you, and then it closes.
He just sort of sighs and he goes, he like scratches. He scratches his animal skull as if he's scratching his own head, and he goes, "Why does everything have to be so confusing? I just want answers."
Because life is confusing.
He looks around really confused.
You don't see anyone. And we'll go ahead and stop the session right there.
Yay!